So you said you got started off in stand-up. So when did you make that shift to writing, and why did you make that shift to writing? You just said you didn't like stand-up?
So I really had no idea what I was doing.
How old were you at this point?
21, 22. I graduated college, was supposed to go to law school, and I woke up and I'm like, I'll myself if I'm in law school. I told my parents I'm going to LA to do stand-up. I didn't know a single person here besides my...
Did they disown you?
Well, it was close. You know, they gave me 6 months. And they gave me 6 months of a little bit of money, which, again, I appreciate that I had that, which is I'm lucky that I did. But I ended up doing stand-up and working in the mailroom at New Line Cinema. And I decided I want to make films. I'd never been on a film set. I'd never written a script. I didn't know anything. So I basically handed out flyers at New Line, said I'm doing a stand-up show to raise money, and I did my stand-up show, and Mike DeLuca, who was VP of New Line at the time, now was an Oscar-winning producer and done a lot of great stuff. He came to the show and gave me $10,000 out of his own pocket and said, go make your short film. I made it. I sold it to Showtime, got into the American Film Institute, and I never did stand-up again. So,
wow.
Because why would you?
No, yeah. I mean, I wish I did.
No, I get it, but stand-up is I think back in that era, stand-up was a means to an end. You know, it was like you did stand up because you wanted to get your movie and TV, and then you go into that.
I think that was part of my problem also with stand up. I came from like loving stand up comedy, and all the stand up comedians when I don't want to say coming up because I never got anywhere, but they were all looking for a sitcom, and I was like, I love the art form of stand up comedy, but the anxiety of it, which I never, I know as you probably can tell better than me, you got to learn how to get through that. And I never got to that place where I could get on stage without drinking, and so it for me, it was a means to an end. And even honestly, writing and creating a show was probably a means to an end. And whether I make any money doing podcasting or not, it is something that I like doing. So,
Well, I mean, it's great just to your credit, man. I mean, just, toot your horn. I mean, you did something actually pretty amazing, and you've set yourself up now, hopefully, that you can do whatever the hell you want.
Well, that's the thing, and I appreciate that, but I grinded my ass away for a decade and cost myself a marriage over this show, and I feel pretty good that provided they don't come up with something that gets me to 130, 140, I can live however I want right now, so that's exactly right, and that's the goal, and people say it all the time, don't you want to make another show? And I'm like, I kind of want all the rewards, but no, I don't really want to do all the shit of it. I really don't.
You're like Allen Iverson. We're talking about practice?
Exactly. If I could avoid practice and just play the game.
Well, do you think if you had did you write Entourage all by yourself each episode, or you had other people?
I had a team, Rob Weiss, who you guys, or you were on his podcast, and I had a few other people.
But the original, though, it was your pilot.
Was your pilot? Okay, cool.
And
that's how it usually works.
I wrote a large portion of a lot of what went through that show. I mean, a lot of it is my life, and and Ari's son was played by my son, and his wife was based on my wife, and a lot of the stories from that show were really stories from my life. So I put a lot of effort and time into it.
I was super unaware, and so I think it was the third time around when I was watching all of it again, where I was like. So I'd watch always the intro, and I'm like, man, what does Doug even look like? I never knew. So I looked up. I was like, no way, that's the guy from the casting rooms. No way.
Yeah.
I noticed right away.
See, that's my desperate need for attention. I put myself in the show with Weiss, by the way. Weiss is in there,
I noticed.
Too.
He was the one on the phone, right?
Yeah. Weiss was sitting next to him, next to Larry Charles also.
Okay.
But, I'm telling you, like, one of the greatest feelings I ever had was, like, I was nominated for an Emmy and Golden Globes, and, like, after that episode aired, I was at Fred Siegel, and, like, all these cute girls were like, you were an extra on Entourage last night. I was like, yes, and I love that.
But did they know you were the same one that wrote it?
They had no idea. And I don't care. Like, I always
cool, though.
See, the thing is and why podcasting is a good thing. I like performing, but I also don't like to leave my house. So I get to do both and just, be like this. So,
Wow, that's interesting. So do you think writing played that role in you wanting to be in your house more? Or do you think that if you maybe wanted to get in front of the camera, you'd have this automatic need to go out of your house all the time and do all these different projects? So do you think just because you like writing?
I think because I'm such an antisocial person, I started writing. I don't think that was ever the thing that I was really meant to do, to be honest with you.
I think that's me right now, personally.
I mean, honestly, I'm like such an I'm actually like, I have a lot of friends, but I'm very good with this whole new texting world. I'm great texting with my friends. They're like, we're going to Vegas next week. And I'm like, nah, I don't need to go to Vegas with you. You guys let me know how it it is. I'll stay with my girlfriend and have
I'll
a good time,
vicariously live through y'all's
Yeah,
life
and
over
honestly-
videos and pictures y'all send me.
And that's why everyone always asks, Entourage, oh, you must have lived that life. No, I observed other people living that life. And I really watched it, and that's what great comedians do. Again, I'm not saying I'm a great comedian or ever was, but that's what you do. You watch other people, you find things that are interesting about that angle, and that's why I was and why it's so frustrating when I ever hear anything about Entourage. I got this town down like to a science, and everyone who was in this town at the time knew it, and that's why everyone was fans of it, and that's why agents were so happy about it. That's why the real Ari was so thrilled to be I'm Ari Gold, you know? Like, and to see. One of the great things about podcasting is you can change that legacy and you can get people to understand there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes to understand how these things end up where they are.